Welcome back. Our next guest has had a huge career in film, television and theatre, starring in the likes of Law & Order, SVU, Sesame Street, and to show off his talents even more, he's also a Tony Award winner, if you don't mind.
He's only rubbing your nose in it,
Yeah, he
isn't
is.
he? Now, he's set up home in Ireland for the next few weeks in the production of Epiphany. Actor Bill Irwin joins us this morning, but first, let's get a sneak peek of Bill during rehearsals.
It's so exciting to bring another world premiere to the Galway International Arts Festival. We're producing this new play by Brian Watkins. He is definitely one of the most powerfully talented young writers I have ever come across.
Well, the rehearsal process, or as we say, process, has been very meticulous. It's some of the most meticulous but exciting rehearsing I've ever done. I'm not sure there's ever been a dinner party quite like this one, and yet, this dinner party is quintessentially like every dinner party ever. And that's part of the brilliance of the writing.
Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Morning. Thank you for
I could
having
listen to
me.
that voice all day.
It is so gorgeous. People love getting a little peek behind the curtains to see what actors do.
Well, we know what it's
You
not.
know the room only too well.
Right,
yeah.
right.
The play, first of all, before we get into your career and who you've worked with and what you've done, the play, Epiphany, difficult to explain in terms of it's not set anywhere or at any
Right.
particular time, it just happens. Explain the play to us.
Couldn't explain the play to you, but it's a very delicate piece of writing. It's very funny in places, but the two audiences we've been in front of in the Dublin area here, you can feel them start to expect, oh, this is going to be a laugh riot, and then it takes a turn, goes a different direction. It's a very hard piece to describe, so I'll fall back on the old cheesy American show business.
Please do.
If you don't mind. It's like, this is cheesy, but it's like Anton Chekhov meets James Joyce, meets Woody Allen, meets Lena Horne.
All right, well, I'm sold.
Yeah,
That's
I
me.
hope
good
it
way to
comes.
describe it. Yeah, brilliant.
It's a really delicate piece, and Gary Hines is somewhere between Toscanini
Yeah.
and Woody Allen herself. You know, she's
So Gary Hines directs it, of course.
She directs
and you
it.
have been in Dunleary doing the run-throughs, what do you guys call it?
Previews.
Previews. And now you're off to Galway.
off to Galway for the Arts Festival, and we hope those audiences there buy this play. We hope to do it justice. You know what it's like, Simon.
Yeah.
Your whole day, people say, oh, you only work from 8 to 10. It must be an easy life. Your whole day is focused toward that one time.
From the minute you wake up.
From the minute you wake up to telling the story the one time. Yeah.
To play, to do this play with Druid in Galway, that's very special. I mean, Druid are one of the most highly regarded theatre companies in the world.
Internationally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be doing this play in their theatre, I mean, that must be a little box ticked, is it?
It's you could call it that.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
three of us Americans, two magnificent actors from London. We've all been adopted into this sort of mad family because they're crazy as loons.
Yeah.
Well, you have the likes of Aaron Monaghan
that
and
the
Rory
charm?
Nolan.
Yeah.
Like, the cream of Irish talent in there, and they're also a bit of crack as well.
Well, they're heavy on crack.
Yeah.
In the American and the Irish sense. But magnificent theatre artists. You're right. With a man named Rory Nolan, who keeps us all in stitches, whether we want to be or not. He says, one minute he's horsing around, and the next minute he says, I'll play Captain Daly what's the play? The O'Casey play that I'm thinking of. Not Plough on the Stars, not...
Juno.
Juno the Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fine actor. Aaron Monaghan as well.
Don't tell Gary Hines this, but what I've done sometimes during the slower moments of rehearsal is stand on my place, because with Gary you don't go
you
anywhere
don't
else.
stand anywhere else.
Right. And think, what if Marty played and what if Aaron played in is going in my head.
Yeah.
Because as you know, we don't really have any life but the theatre. That's our religion, that's our temple. And just imagining where these actors will go in their lives or might go,
And theatre is and has been a huge part of your life. I mean, when you started your career, you told us kind of at 3 years of age in school. That's when you thought...
When you wanted to take over the class.
Yeah. I want to correct a misapprehension. I was actually very quiet and shy and watchful. But when the teacher said, back in the 50s, like, oh, please, give me shall we do pantomime?
Yeah.
Who would like to do pantomime? And
Straight away.
straight away. I talk all the time now on stage, but my first love was telling stories without words.
Yeah. Physicality.
Physicality. Sitting here, I love your show, by the way. I have to say, it's so
God
much more
bless you.
relaxed than American television.
Well, you see, it's not live. Nobody's watching. It's fun.
There's nobody out
It's
there.
just
We're
us.
just in rehearsal.
It's just us. Yeah, we're rehearsing all the time.
5 weeks of rehearsal. I love that. But sitting here, I'm thinking, you all drive this way.
Yeah, that's true.
We
Yeah,
drive
yeah.
this way. And that's how my mind
So
goes.
the clown is there constantly.
Right.
And you went on to work with some of the biggest stars in the world, and probably one of the greatest exponents of physical comedy, Robin Williams. I mean, and,
Comedy samurai.
and we had guests, 2 actors on yesterday who are about to embark in Waiting for Godot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where
on
and
here in
when?
Dublin in a couple of weeks' time. Opens next week. But you did Waiting for Godot
Several times.
with him
Yeah.
and Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Now, that's got to be some experience. Tell us about that.
Oh, it was wild. Steve Martin, Robin Williams, F. Murray Abraham played
Holy
the role of Potso.
moly.
A wonderful guy who's a big grown man now. Lucas Haas played the boy.
Yeah.
And then there was yours truly. But I haven't even gotten to the biggest star yet. The biggest star was Mike Nichols, who directed.
Wow.
And it was really interesting to see the deference. So Steve Martin, top of his game,
Yeah.
Robin Williams, megastar. They're all saying, whenever Mike wants to do it, that's when we'll do it, is whenever
Yeah.
Mike says. Because Mike Nichols was a sort of deity within our New York theater
Yeah.
culture. Yeah.
Must have been a staggering production to be a part of, though.
It was. I'm not sure we got it right.
Yeah. But who's to say? That was the joy that the actors were saying yesterday. The audience would take away what
The
they want to take
interpretation.
away.
And
It's
that's
up
the
to them.
joy of theatre, isn't it? As a
It is the joy of
non-actor and
theatre.
someone who just enjoys it.
Yeah.
It's, you think about it days later.
Do you go often? Do you go to the theater often?
Not as often as I'd like to go, no. But I learned quite a lot about the actor's life from guests like yourself and obviously from Simon. And I'm fascinated by the fact that we see the glamour, but actually the hard work behind it is astonishing.
There is a lot of hard
Can
work.
we ask you, before we run out of time,
Please.
about Robin Williams? Because,
Yes.
and I don't want to overlabour it at all, but
No.
I want to, from a viewer's point of view, they're fascinated by him as a character, comedy genius, as you said yourself.
Comedy genius, we called him the comedy samurai because he went out, he took no prisoners, and that's a kind of a light joke with most of us. That was absolutely true. When we did Waiting, as we call it, Waiting for Godot.
Godot.
Yes, you do.
More on that in a moment.
Which could be
but-
the correct pronunciation.
Yes,
Who's to know?
yeah.
Thank you. But the tickets were, nobody could get in, everybody was calling you for tickets. But there were what we call subscribers who'd been part of the theater for years, and they hold the theater together.
Patrons, yeah.
Patrons who pay their money. So there'd be people coming and say, what play are we seeing tonight? I don't know what play is tonight.
really?
Yeah.
And so some of them, our friends are lined up 8 deep out. Can you get me a ticket? Some of them are nodding off.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It
gorgeous.
drove Robin
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
He was not a comic presence in front of which people fell asleep. That just wasn't in his.
Yeah.
So he would amp it up even further.
Yeah.
He was known sometimes to gently kick sand toward people in the front row.
To wake them up.
To wake them up, yeah. He would grab people's program. But I want to be clear about this. He was accused of ad-libbing during Mr. Beckett's play. He never said a word that wasn't sanctioned within the stage directions because you read the places, general outcry.
Yeah.
Well, general outcry takes whatever shape you want it to take, and in Robin's...
And he would have taken that very seriously. He would have
did.
He would not have stepped out of that circle of safety. He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, and it was the most physical performing I've ever done on stage. The set was sand.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And we were all younger, so you could fall up again, and there's a little bit of video that I have on my computer that I watch occasionally. Robin ran across the stage and tackled me, and it looks like your GAA
Tackle.
Coverage.
Yeah. Full-blooded.
It was not a stage indication. It was I feel it viscerally when I see it on video.
it
these
was
30
full out.
people. Full out. Robin was everything full out. He was a very generous, sweet-souled man, but driven so that you could see him say, "Oh, Billy, Billy." And then somebody say, "You two are great together. Why don't you go on the so-and-so show together?" He'd look at you like a little bit like a character, like a George Clooney character. Are you good enough?
Yeah.
Are you good enough
He
to
struck
go
me
in
as a
and-
man who never did anything, as you'd say, half-assed.
Not half. And just a note on his passing. It was a terrible blow. I just want to say very delicately, I respect his passing completely. I think it was Robin's choice and Robin's act. He closed his life the way he lived his life.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Bill, I could sit here until 6 o'clock
Absolutely.
talking to you. We haven't touched on the Tony Awards, Kathleen Turner, all that kind of stuff. We will do it over a drink at some point.
Can we? Can we? Because I'm coming to see you in the Snapper.
Well, you're more than welcome.
You
We'll
have to see
definitely
the
do
Snapper,
that.
you'll love it.
We'll bring a camera crew in, we'll film the interview. Now, if you want to see Bill in the Galway production
Thank
of
you, Bill.
Epiphany, visit druid.ie for ticket information.
Oh,
Is there a moment to say,
Please.
among the Druid family,
yes.
your national treasure, Marie Mullen,
Ah, stop the lights.
finest
woman should be
actress
saying to-
in the world.
Yes. Well, she was there too.
On that note, she's going to be there. Okay.